Hi, all my friends. Okay, so finishing. What was that? Okay. um, finishing chapter 3 here, Daniel. We're in the book of Daniel. Please do remember to bring the Lord into your space before hearing God's word. Okay, just trying to think if there's anything I want to share with you guys. No. Okay, nothing at this time. All right, so let's get going then. So we're talking. This has to do with the fact that the king has put Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego into the furnace because they would not bow down and worship his image, his golden image statue that he placed in Dabu or whatever, part of the kingdom there. That whenever anybody heard the music, they were to bow down and worship this thing. Okay. But then he saw that they were, after being put into the fire, and the guys who threw them into the fire, they got burned. Okay, it was 7 times hotter than it normally is, and they were killed, but not Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, they didn't even smell like dirt. I mean, fire. Like smoke. When you get near a campfire, your clothes take on the smell of the campfire, even, right? Their clothes didn't smell. They were like pristine. Okay, they didn't even smell like they were near any fire at all when they came out of that fiery furnace. And even the king said he thought he saw the Son of God in there. Probably was. And then so Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they may not serve nor worship any god except their own God. Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, language, which speaketh anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Okay, so chapter 4. Okay, so this is about Nebuchadnezzar acknowledges God's eternal domination. He relates a dream. Daniel interprets it, and the dream is fulfilled. So this is another dream. Okay, so Nebuchadnezzar, the king, unto all the people, nations and languages that dwell in the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I thought it be good to show the signs and wonders that the high God hath wrought toward me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. Nebuchadnezzar was at rest in mine house, and flourished in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore I made a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. Then came in the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they could not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But at last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, and according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, before him I told the dream, saying, Belteshazzar, master of musicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee, and no secret troubleth thee. Tell me the vision of my dream that I have seen, and the interpretation thereof. And there was the visions of mine head in my bed, and I saw, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height of it was very great. And the tree grew, and it was strong, and the height thereof reached the heavens, and the sight thereof to the end of all the earth. And the leaves thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all. And the beasts of the field had shadow under it, and the fowls of the heavens dwelt in the boughs thereof, and all the flesh was fed of it. And I saw in the visions of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down from heaven. He cried aloud and said thus, Hew down the tree and cut off the branches, shake off its leaves and scatter its fruit. Let the beasts get away from under it, and the fowls from his branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of the roots in the earth, even a band of iron and brass in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let the portion be with the beasts in the grass of the earth. And let the heart be changed from man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. Talking about grossness here, okay? And this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomever he will, and setteth upon it the basis of men. This dream I, Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now thou, O Belteshazzar, declare the interpretation thereof, for as much as all these wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but thou art able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in thee. Then Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was atoned for 1 hour, and his thoughts troubled him. And the king spoke and said, Belteshazzar, let not the dream nor the interpretation thereof trouble thee. Belteshazzar answered and said, My lord, the dream be to them that hate thee, and the interpretation thereof to thine enemies. The tree that thou sawest grew and was strong, and whose height reached into the heavens, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and it was meat for all, and under which the beasts of the field dwelt, and upon whom the branches of the fowls of the heaven had taken their habitation. It is thou, O king, that art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and reacheth unto the heavens, and thy dominion to the ends of the earth. Whereas the king saw a watcher and a holy one coming down from heaven, saying, Hew the tree down and destroy it. Let's leave the stump of the roots thereof in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beast of the field until 7 times has passed over him. So 7 years, basically. Okay. And this is the interpretation, O king, that is in the decree of the Most High, which is come upon my lord the king, that thou shalt drive thee from men, and dwelling shall be in the beast of the field. Thy dwelling shall be in the beast of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen. They shall wet thee with the dew of the heaven, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou knowest that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, given it to whomever he will. And whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots, thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee, after thou hast known that the heavens do rule. Wherefore, O king, let thy counsel be acceptable unto thee. Break off thy sins by righteousness, and thy iniquities by showing mercy to the poor. It may be a lengthening of thy tranquility. All this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spoke, said, Is not this the great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee. And I shall drive thee from the men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, so 7 years, until thou knowest the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it to whomever he will. So because you do not recognize that I am the one that gives you everything you have, and until you bow your knee to me, you're going to be like an animal eating grass in the field for 7 years. So at the same hour, the thing was fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar. He was driven from men, so he was made to probably go out of his mind, okay? And he was driven from men. He did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with dew from heaven until his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails were like bird's claws. So he looked like terrible, okay? I was going to say like Hughes. Can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head. Okay. Long hair and nails growing. It just like total wild animal looking, okay? And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes into the heaven, and my understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High. I praise the honor of him that liveth forever, and whose dominion is everlasting dominion. His kingdom is from generation to generation. All the inhabitants of the earth are rebuked as nothing, and he doeth according to his will the army of heaven among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand or say unto him, what doest thou? And at the same time my reason returned unto me, and for the glory of my kingdom mine honor and brightness returned unto me, and my counselors my lord sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added unto me. And now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol the honor of the King of heaven, and all whose works are true, and his ways in judgment, and all those that walk in pride he is able to abase. And that's the end of the reading for today. I do hope that these were a blessing to you. And we will start with chapter 5 tomorrow in the book of Daniel. Remember that Daniel is the partner book to Revelation. So if you want to, on your own, just kind of look back and forth to Revelations about the kingdoms and so forth, then, this is a good companion book for that. All right. I hope that you have a blessed day. Leave me a comment or two. I'd love to hear more about you. Thank you to all my new subscribers, Mary, and all you others. I try to answer back when I find out that you're subscribing to me, but it won't let me reply back to you. So leave me a comment, something about yourself. I'd like to know who it is I'm talking to, and I will respond, okay, when I'm able. All right, take care and have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.